Hello to my bookish pals and girls. Spring has sprung and today I am going to do my March wrap-up in which I will go over and give my thoughts on all of the books that I finished in the month of March. This month I finished 5 books, that is finished, not read in their entirety. 2 of the ones that I finished I had begun reading before the start of March. But it's still a lot for me because I'm a relatively slow reader. Since I recently came home for Easter, I don't have 2 of the books with me, so for those I will just show the cover rather than hold them up. So let's get to it. So the first one is a classic, Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre. I feel I must first address the inescapably noticeable fact that this copy has seen some shit. I must assure you I take the utmost care of my books normally, but I did buy this cheap one with the intention of being able to read it anywhere, in the bath, in the street, waiting for the bus as it rained, in the front line of battle, and it wouldn't really matter what happened to it, because this was for my Austen and the Brontes course. But it was something that I have been wanting to read for a long time, so here we are. I gave this 5 stars on my Goodreads, which puts it on par with the rating I gave to Wuthering Heights. But I think this might have overtaken Wuthering Heights in terms of my favourite classics, particularly from the Bronte sisters. I love Jane's voice narrating it, because I find often, because I've seen a few adaptations of this, and I find often with adaptations in which, in the book, the main character is doing the narration, you lose a lot of that because you're seeing and they're not telling it to you. And in the adaptations I've seen of this, they kind of lose how witty and funny she can be. So this was my first experience of that, and it's just something that I really loved. So if you want to read a classic, Jane Eyre, do it. So secondly this month I finished Wintersong by Jae-Jones, appearing on your screen now. Those of you who watched my February haul video will know that I was really looking forward to this one. I suspected that it would draw a lot of its inspiration from Labyrinth, but I really didn't expect it to go as far as it did in terms of that. It was almost like a Labyrinth fanfic. Almost. It is about a girl whose sister is taken by the Goblin King and she has to go and save her, but that is just the beginning of the story. There's lots of other things that go on in there, and it's a love story overall. I feel like maybe I set my expectations a little bit higher than was fair in this, just because I think I expect anything that is inspired by or to do with Labyrinth to be absolutely fantastic. But I shouldn't do that, because then if somebody imagines it differently to how I do, then that's going to be disappointing to me and I'm not going to be able to judge the thing fairly. And that was kind of the case with this. The way the things were imagined were very different to what I already had in my head. And I'm saying, like, you know, you might say, oh yeah, but it wasn't trying to be Labyrinth. Well, yeah, I mean, no it wasn't, but it was definitely, there were a few like really obvious references to the film Labyrinth that, you know, any fan would get. So I feel like maybe yes it was. So I can't really say that, but I definitely feel to someone other than me it would be like top notch right up there. So yeah, give it a go, see what you think, because that's one that I'd be interested to talk about further. Thirdly this month I read Slade House by David Mitchell, appearing on your screen now. This was very short and I enjoyed it a lot. It is set in multiple decades, every 9 years, and you hear lots of different voices, which is part of its charm. It's just so diverse in who you get to hear from. People go into Slade House and they don't come out, and I feel like saying any more than that would be giving too much away, but I would definitely recommend it. It is a nice little story and it will trick you. It will definitely trick you. You will think you're okay, but then you will not be, and then you will feel betrayed but satisfied because it's actually a really good story. So yeah, give this one a go. Slade House by David Mitchell. So fourthly this month I read A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. This is the first in the Gemma Doyle trilogy. I had been wanting to give this a go for a while. When I started reading it I wasn't sure how I felt. I felt that maybe it might be for an audience a little bit younger than me. That's not to say that I can't read books about 16-year-olds, because, you know, I do all the time. But at first I felt the characters a little bit difficult to relate to, and it started off a little bit slow for me, a little difficult to get into, but once I like hit maybe the midway point, I was there. Boom. Yeah, it was great. This is about a girl named Gemma Doyle whose mother dies under mysterious circumstances, and she gets sent to a boarding school in England where she's lived in India her whole life, and she also experiences these visions that tend to come true, and then she's being warned not to pay attention to these visions or just to stop them. It's all very exciting and mysterious, so yeah, give this one a go. If you like the Victorian settings, if you like female friendships, this book is jam-packed full of that, so no, yeah, give it a go. I think I'm going to read the rest of the series when I get around to it. It's not the top of my reading priorities, but eventually I will have a bash at all three of them. And fifth and finally this month, Foxlowe by Eleanor Wasserberg. Oh my god! You'll remember from my February haul video that the bookseller in Waterstones said to me that this is very good but very dark, and she was right. I read the blurb to you in my February haul video, which didn't give much away at all, and I feel like that was the intention, but if you do want a little bit more than that, then I will give you something now, but if you don't want any spoilers, just skip ahead a little bit. So Foxlowe is about house. You can see it on the front. There's a big house, and it is the home to a commune. So there are all kinds of different people who choose to come and live there, and they have to change their name, and they all have really weird rules. They've got to try and keep out the bad, which it's very vague as to what the bad actually is. I thought at first like maybe it was just like, you know, bad feelings, which it kind of is, but it's a bit deeper than that. But it's from the perspective of one girl called Green, and she was actually born there, so she has not known anything different her whole life, and it's about growing up in this cult, and it's... I won't say any more than that, but there is some horrifying stuff in here. But of all the non-classical books that I read this month, this one impressed me the most, so go out, read Foxlowe. My fingernails match the cover. So that wraps up everything that I read in March. If you like this video, then like, comment or subscribe. I would appreciate it very much. I'm going to Italy on Monday. It's a touring trip, so I'm going to lots of different places. So I'll be sure to film lots of that and incorporate it into a video for you guys. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!